Just let me know, Mario. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are here with Namo and Yvonne from Soledo, and we are going to talk today about the 491 visa.
Yep.
Hello, Namo. How are
Hello,
you?
how are you, Yvonne? Yeah, today, as Yvonne mentioned, that we're gonna discuss about the skilled worker listener visa. That as maybe if you guys attended our previous seminar, then past a few weeks we did many topics, and then we already talked about the 491 visa. But today, I will give you some more detailed information about 491 visa, and then I really hope that you guys understand how the Department of the Home Affairs gonna prepare for the next year visa. So it's already the budget from the budget they already introduced that they will more focus on the regional visa, and they allocate quite enough the quota for the skilled visa as well. So the among the skilled visa, the 491 is one of the important visa that you have to understand and prepare well. So today, we will only focus on 491, but again, the last week, we already discussed about a lot of visa options. They include the skilled visa and the employer-sponsored visa as well. So I already mentioned that there are two different groups of the visa options if you complete your course in Australia. And then the first one is skilled visa option, and second one is employer-sponsored visa options. But the skilled visa option, there are common criteria, and then you must understand basic requirement for the visa. Especially for the 190 and 491, there are Department of Home Affairs requirement as well as state nomination requirement. You must be aware that you must meet the both requirements at the same time. Then you can go through the EOI and then other state nomination application. So maybe let's a little bit talk more about the Department of Home Affairs requirement. There are many different requirements in there, but basically three main key requirements that you must understand and then prepare. So the first one is the point. So in today's seminar, I will discuss how you calculate the migration point for the skilled visa purpose. Then for that calculation, you must obtain at least 65 points to prepare any of the skilled visa. So that's the main thing. 189, 190, 491, you must have at least 65 points. But 65 point doesn't mean that you can get the invitation for the visa. So this is the minimum requirement that you must have. Of course, most of visa, you will have a higher chance that if you have a higher point. And then for the age limitation, yes, if the department already changed the policy, so you must have at least less than 45 years old. So means maximum 44 years old, then you can get an invitation. Once your age changes to the 45, you will lose all the opportunity to apply any of the skilled visa. And the last one is skill assessment. As we are preparing the skilled visa, that's why government have to check whether you have a relevant visa, relevant skill and knowledge. So that's why government allocate a certain authority to check your qualification or experience, and they release the outcome of the assessment. That process we call the skill assessment. So you must pass the skill assessment from the nominated authority, then you can go through the skilled visa. So a lot of people confuse that, and then they come to us, then, oh, I'm ready to apply the state nomination. I'm ready to apply the 491. When I heard that, I feel like, oh, it's not ready. Then most of the case, they misunderstand that they meet all the requirements for the state nomination, but they did not think about the Department of Home Affairs requirements. So now in this slide, I only mentioned that there are three key requirements from the Department of Home Affairs that you must meet these three requirements. Again, it's a point, skill assessment, and age. If you meet those requirements, then next one is you have to think about the state nomination. Again, 190, 491, if you want to apply the visa for these two subclass of visa, you must have the state nomination approval and then must receive the invitation to apply the visa. So maybe before we go through the very detailed information about the 491, then I will simply guide you how to calculate the migration point.
Okay.
So when we discussed last week about the skilled visa, I skipped this part because this part takes a bit long. Then many people confused about the employer sponsor visa and skilled visa. So last week I actually focused on the comparison in between the skilled visa and sponsor visa. But today we are only talking about the 491 visa. Then if you want to check the eligibility to apply the 491 visa, you must understand and you must know how to calculate your migration point. Okay, let's think about the point test in age factor. It's very straightforward. Everyone can simply calculate. Your age means certain point. So let's say I'm the 34, then my age point is 25.
Exactly.
Let's say I'm the 30 years old, then my point is 30 point. So like this, the age and point is always matching clearly, so you don't have any confusion about this part. And then someone worry about the, oh, what about I'm getting to the 33 now, but I'm ready to apply the EOI. Then can I say I'm 33? It's very confused, right? But when you register your detail to the skill select, it means when you create your EOI, you're not gonna provide your age. You only provide date of birth. Based on that information, the department system automatically calculate your age and then allocate the point, which means when you turn into the 33, you will get the notification from the skill select and then your point change it to the 25 point. And then when the government, the assessing your application to apply the invitation, they will see, oh, your age point dropped. And then your age is 25 now. So that's why you don't need at the registration stage, you don't need to worry about your change of the age because it is automatically calculated by the department system. And the other one is English language factor. So for the skilled visa, minimum English requirement is 6.0 in terms of the IELTS. And then for the PTE, 50. So with this minimum point, but minimum score, you cannot receive any point because here competent English IELTS 6, which is PTE 50, has a 0 point.
0 points, exactly.
But this is the minimum English requirement, even though you cannot receive any point, which means if you don't have any English point, you cannot apply for any of the skilled visa. I mean, you cannot express of your interest. So again, even though you have received a lot of points from the other factor, you must be aware that you must have a minimum English requirement, which is 6.0. And then if you have IELTS 7 or PT 65 in each band, then there are extra 10 points. So the English factor is the only factor that give you extra 10 or 20 points, which is like all other factor based on your skill, the difference is 5 points. Now, let's say 1 year experience, 5 points, 3 year experience, 10 points. So in between the 1 year and 3 years, only 5 point gap. But English, the gap is quite high. It's a 10-point difference.
Of course.
So that's why if you want to target to the higher point, means you should think about the English skill. So the English skill, then you can obtain 20 point maximum. So which will give you good opportunity to get the invitation. The superior point, that is IELTS 8 and then PTE 79. 79, yeah. So I think there are a lot of people worry about the current change in the PT website. there is an equivalent table in between the IELTS and PT point a bit increased, but it doesn't mean now immigration accept those changes. Maybe immigration also considering about those changes from the PTE, but it hasn't applied yet to the system. And then migration policy. So until we give you the further notification or announcement, you still stick with the English score based on this table. So again, if you have an IELTS 6 equivalent, it's 0 point, but it's minimum score. And if you show the proficient English, then you must have IELTS 7 or PT 65. And if you want to demonstrate your superior English skill, then you must have IELTS 8 each or PT 79 each.
Okay.
And let's move to the employment point. So Australian and overseas skilled employment, it is separate calculation. So it is very important your employment history is obtained in Australia or outside of Australia. So if it is the case, if you have worked in Australia, then if you work the 1 year, then it will be the 5 point. 3 year, it will be the 10 point. Like this, you can calculate. And if you already worked in the overseas, then if you have 3 years overseas experience, then you have a 5 point, and 5 years overseas experience, you have a 10 point. 10 point. So you can maximum you can claim for from the employment point is 20 point combined. But when you're talking about the experience point, you must clearly understand this part. A lot of people misunderstand about this point. So when you claim for the experience, it must be post-qualification experience. So let's say you are currently studying Bachelor of IT, and because you have a skill and previous experience, that's why you are working as a developer program already. But previously, you didn't have any qualification. So if it is the case, you cannot claim the point during your study, which means your experience can claim from the after completion of your bachelor degree. Or
your master degree.
Yeah, or any other relevant degree. And then also, many people misunderstand that the experience must be a full-time experience. No, actually not. For the point system, you can just demonstrate that you have worked at least 20 hours per week. You can still count.
Okay.
So it is very important because all the visas has a requirement for the, most of visas has a requirement for the experience. However, those visa work experience requirement is always different. Work experience requirement for this skilled visa point test is 20 hours post-qualification experience. But for the TSS visa, it doesn't necessarily be the post-qualification, but 38 hours full-time base. So like this, all the experience requirement is different, but again, under the point system, your experience requirement calculated from the once you complete the relevant course, and then 20 hours per week would be okay. Of course. Okay, let's move to the qualification point. Yeah, for the qualification point, if you have a bachelor degree or master coursework, then you will be the 15 point. And you have a PhD degree, it will be the 20 point. And if you have a trade qualification and any other diploma qualification, it will be the 10 point. So here is also many like rumor and misunderstanding. So let's say most of applicants believe that the qualification point can be only obtained if applicants study in Australia. But actually it's wrong. It's wrong. It's not right. The qualification point you can claim from the overseas qualification as well. For example, let's say if you apply for any skilled visa and your occupation is chef, then the relevant qualification for the chef will be the maybe hospitality degree or commercial cookery degree. But applicants have the Bachelor of Art in
In the
French.
country.
Oh, in French in home country, or Bachelor of Business, or Bachelor of Engineering in their home country. Then, if the bachelor degree is equivalent bachelor degree in Australia, then we can still claim the degree point.
Okay.
So which means if you have your bachelor degree in your home country, regardless that is relevant to your nominated occupation, you can still claim your point.
But in that case, Namos, you need a skill assessment for that?
No, you don't need a
Okay.
skill assessment. But each country has a different education level. So if you are unsure, you should get the correct information from the professionals.
Okay.
But mostly, if you can apply for the master degree in Australia based on your bachelor degree, basically it will be accepted.
Okay.
It will be accepted. But yeah, again, that it's all the country has a little bit different education system and then structure. So if you have any doubt, you can just simply contact me, then we can advise you correctly. And so let's come back to the example. You are applying skilled visa with the chef occupation, and you have complete the diploma degree in Australia. Then your point will be the 10 point, right? Because you complete the diploma. It's a 10 point. However, if you have your home country qualification bachelor degree, then you can claim more 15 points. But it's not an extra point. So diploma 10 point, bachelor 15 point. You can only choose the highest point, higher degree the point. So in this case, even though you apply based on your study in Australia for the hospitality, but you still can claim 15 points from your bachelor degree in your home country. And then let's move the special education qualification. It's only for the master research or PhD completion student.
Correct.
In the STEM degree. STEM means science, technology, engineering, math. So if your degree is related in the STEM and you complete the Master of Research or PhD in Australia, yes, you can claim the extra 10 points from here.
Okay.
And then Australia study requirement. Yeah, this factor gives you 5 points extra.
Okay.
But it requires you to study 2 years registered course as well as 16 months physical study in Australia. But 2 years registration course can be 2 separate or 3 separate course. And it is not all the course, but at least the diploma, trade qualification, bachelor, master, PhD. So if you complete the English for 2 years, you cannot claim this point. If you complete only certificate 2-3 business course, you cannot claim this point. Again, if you complete the trade course or diploma and higher for 2 years, then you can claim.
Okay.
And then study in regional area. So when you study 2 years in Australia, and then if your campus is located in Australian regional area, at the same time you are living in regional area, then you can claim extra 5 points. But here, many people misunderstand. Let's say I study in the Gold Coast. Then my campus, Griffith University Gold Coast campus, is regional area because now Gold Coast is belong to the regional area. But I'm still living in Brisbane. My auntie's house. Can I claim? No. Because again, if you want to claim the regional area point, you should study and living in regional area. It's very important. Okay, next one, professional area. So the certain occupation like accounting, IT engineer, they can study the kind of internship program we call the professional year program. So if you complete the professional year program, which is designed by the specific authority, then yes, you can claim 5 extra points. Then maybe some of you guys maybe complain that, oh, it's unfair because I'm graduate from the nursing and then nursing doesn't have any PY, professional year program. That's okay because under the point system, same occupation compete each other. You're not gonna compete with the nurse and you're not gonna compete with the IT. If you are studying accounting and you apply for any skilled visa as an accountant, then you're gonna compete
Just with account.
in the accountant, the occupation.
Yeah.
You're not gonna compete with others, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's unfair.
Yeah.
But you need the higher point than other occupation because you will have the 5 point from the
course.
PY course. So these days, even though you don't want to take the PY course, but it become a kind of compulsory because again, all the skilled visa is competition in the same occupation sector. Means all of your classmates will study PY because of the extra point. But if you don't do it, then you will lose the 5 point. You are behind the 5 point. Okay, the other one is credential community language. So now you don't necessarily be not the accredited translator or interpreter. You can just simply pass the CCL test, which is the much easier the language test, kind of language test. So each language has your option, but it's very hard to book and expensive. So you fully prepare well and then apply the CCL test, then you can get, if you pass, you can get extra 5 points. And then partner skill, yes, very confused about this part. But if you are single, yes, you will have extra 10 points. And if you have Australian citizen or permanent visa partner, then you will have extra 10 points.
Okay.
But if you have a partner, then the partner has 6.0 each English skill, which is a competent English skill, then you will claim extra 5 points.
Okay.
But if your partner has English skill as well as a positive skill assessment outcome, then extra 10 points. It's equal to the single applicant. However, you have a partner and partner doesn't have English skill, then you are 0 point, which means you are far behind. So now it's very important you to push your partner to study English as well, at least the 6.0 each.
Yeah.
And then the other one below is about the point from the state nomination. So if you approve the state nomination for the 190 visa, then you will have extra 5 points from the government. And if you have approval from the 491 state nomination, then you will have extra 15 points. So again, if you want to apply, if you want to be ready to apply the EOI for maybe state nomination visa, you require to have 65 points. But state nomination give you 15 points, right? Which means if you have 50 points, then if you get the state nomination approval for the 491, then you can still meet the 65 points. I have a real case with 491 with the 65 and 70. They almost give up all the things, but because of this change, they could get the invitation. Invitation. But some states, they are giving the invitation based on the higher point. But some states still they require you to meet the other requirement rather than higher point. So it is very important you to understand about the state nomination requirement for the certain state, then you can prepare well based on your situation. Okay, now you understand about the point test, then we can move to the 491 visa. So basically, the 491 skilled listener visa has 3 different steps. First thing that once you meet all the state nomination requirement, and then Department of Home Affairs requirement, which is 3 key things: age, skill assessment, and what's that? I forgot. Come back. See, have to check. Point.
Points, age, and skill assessment.
Yeah. So if you meet the DHA requirement, and if you also check your state nomination requirement, and if you believe you will meet all the requirement, then you can register your information to the government. This process we call the EOI, express of interest. So based on the EOI, state will invite you to apply the state nomination, or you apply the state nomination directly. And then the state will assess your application and give the outcome. So if your state nomination is approved, then you will get the visa invitation.
Okay.
So once you get a visa invitation, you can apply for the visa. So when you apply visa, your bridging visa will be granted, which means until you get the invitation to apply visa and then you finally load your visa, you don't have a bridging visa. So if your current visa is going to expire, then you should arrange your other visa to stay and wait the invitation. Because the invitation is not guaranteed. So that's why you should clearly understand your point and current invitation point and situation, then you have to make a decision whether you're gonna extend the visa.
Yeah, because the EOI is not a visa.
EOI is not a visa.
Exactly.
Yeah, so 491 skilled work listener visa. Again, the occupation is not just under the MLTSSL and STSOA or ROL. So each state has their own demand for the specific occupation. So that's why the occupation list for the each state is designed by that state. So Queensland, they have a Queensland state nomination occupation list. And then New South Wales, their own state nomination occupation list. Like each state has a different occupation list. So you have to check with your state for whether your occupation is included or not. And again, 491 is a temporary visa, but it is regional-based visa. So means you must live and work in the regional area to get the state nomination approval. But in that case, you must understand the requirement of the 491 state nomination for the each state. But for example, in Queensland, they require you to live in the regional area for 3 months and then working in the regional area for 3 months, then you are finally eligible to apply the state nomination. But it doesn't necessarily mean you can get the outcome of the positive outcome, but at least you must live and work 3 months in the regional area. Also, you must obtain the full-time working job offer contract. Then you can finally be ready to apply the state nomination.
Okay.
So means the 491 is a regional skilled visa. So you must relocate your location to the regional area, and you must understand about the regional requirement. Then you can be ready to apply the EOI. And then this visa is a 5 years visa. It's a temporary visa. However, this visa is the provisional temporary visa, which means it is a package, kind of the package visa with 191 permanent visa. So during the 491 visa, you can have the Medicare benefit, which is really
a great opportunity.
Yeah. So the Medicare means a lot. That is,
Yeah,
you can cover many different things in terms of your health related issues. So the Medicare is very important. Then if you are planning to have the family, like a baby, and then those in the, if you have a Medicare card, and then you can have the free service in the public hospital.
So this means that you don't need medical insurance to apply?
No.
Okay.
No. But you have the Medicare. You will have the Medicare care for the 491 visa. But again, this is a 5 years visa. But I said that if you meet the certain requirement for the 3 year, then you can move to the permanent visa, right? So here is the information. So let's say if you are holding the 491 visa, then you have to live in the 3 years in the regional area. And you must working in the regional area, and then your annual taxable income must be over 53,900.
Okay.
Around the 54K,
Okay.
the annual income. And if you study, you must study in regional area. If you don't study, it's okay. If you study and you study, and all your family member also living, working, study in the regional area during that 3 years. Then finally you move to the permanent visa application. Then your permanent visa finally will be granted.
Okay.
So many people ask are they gonna assess again for the English skill and thing? At the moment, they haven't released all the exact legislation requirement, but as far as I know, you don't be assessed about your skill again, but they will only see whether you have worked and lived in the regional area for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the end of my presentation about the point system and then skilled work visa. But I believe that you guys ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So now then I can give you the answer for your question.
Okay, thank you so much for all your information, Namo. We, of course, have some question for you guys, and this is the moment to say that if you have any other question, you can do it in the chat box. So the first question is, I'm a veterinary. Do I have to hold an Australian registration as VET there before apply for this visa?
Oh, yeah, you must have the registration. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
The other question is, I want to own a restaurant in regional area, but never had qualifications from Australia. Could I do that to get 491 business owner?
Or maybe if you are in Queensland, then it depends on your situation. So let's say if you are a business owner, but if you open the business by your own, then maybe not possible to apply the small business owner pathway. But if you purchase the business from others, then you are operating more than 6 months, and then you meet the certain requirement. But again, this is a part of the 491 state nomination stream. So that's why, okay, what do you have to check? Your point and your age and skill assessment.
Okay.
But skill assessment doesn't necessarily related with your occupation, but you must have the skill assessment in your in any nominated occupation. So you must have a skill assess, positive skill assess. So
Okay.
yeah, if you still have a doubt, then maybe you can contact our team. Then we can assess your situation and get back to you.
The same question: if I study in Brisbane and get a job in Gold Coast, can I still eligible to apply for an I-1 visa?
Yeah, why not? The where you study is not important. Where you study is not important. But where you study is important to get an extra point or to have a longer graduation visa.
Or you can then apply to any regional.
Yeah. But once you, even though you complete the study in the Sydney, you can still come to the Gold Coast and prepare Queensland state nomination. In opposite way, even though you complete your study in Brisbane, you can move to the New South Wales or Victoria, Tasmania. Then you can still prepare the state nomination in that state.
Okay. Once I got 491 visa granted, can I move to work in CBD immediately?
Yes. Once you get the 491, you can come to the CBD, but you cannot apply for the PR later.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, of course. So I have a long question here. I'm 32 years old, having a family, including husband, 33 years old and 4 years old daughter. I want to buy and own a business in Australia for the better future of my daughter. Do you think that this can be a good idea for me to come to study in Australia and buy a business in regional area for this kind of visa? Will it be difficult to come as a family since the beginning? Do you have any recommendation for my pathway to get PR in Australia?
If it is the case and if you are ready to purchase the business, then you should make a very good strategy. Again, the purchasing business is not the everything for the stream. This is a state nomination stream, so that's why if you want to apply to those things, you should see the other requirement. So skill assess, how you meet the skill assessment requirement.
Of course.
So the occupation, which occupation you're gonna go, which business you're gonna go. So yeah, I cannot say all the detail one by one now, but basically you must come to Australia with a certain study, then you must pass the skill assess. Then during your graduation visa, maybe you can purchase the business and then operating 6 months, then maybe you can eligible. So in very detailed consultation.
Yeah, must be like more specific. Yeah, then, maybe this is too general. So the other one is, which state would you recommend to move for mining engineers and civil engineers?
I think the Perth has a lot. Perth has more jobs, and then maybe Brisbane, and then maybe New South Wales and Perth,
Queensland and New South Wales.
for the
Okay.
civil engineering job.
Can I submit more than one nomination application?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's me like in different states.
If you meet, but like back in 2 years ago, the New South Wales was open for the applicants from all over the world, and then like in the other state. But now, even New South Wales is just to put the new requirement that they are inviting people who living in the New South Wales. So we cannot make extra application for the New South Wales now. So like this,
Okay.
currently, most of the state focus more on the resident in their state. So it's a bit hard, but
Okay.
in somehow, if you meet all the requirement for the any state, then yes, it's free to apply.
Okay. How long does it take to get an invitation for 491?
Oh, no one knows that. It depends on the situation. Like if
Okay.
you are very, let's say, if you apply the state nomination for the certain state that only gives the state nomination for the higher point, but your point is too low, then even though you wait 100 years, then they're not gonna invite you, right?
Yeah.
What I want to say, it's not gonna be happen, but what I want to say is very hard to provide you time frame for the invitation. But usually, if you meet all the requirement and then if you express your interest, then in Queensland maybe 1 to 2 months, then you get the invitation, and then New South Wales a little bit faster, and Victoria a little bit faster, and Tasmania a little bit faster, and some states a bit longer, something like that.
Okay. Okay, next one. How Gold Coast is compared to the other regional areas? Do you think there is any disadvantage because it's a new regional area?
Yeah, there many people actually asked but when I had the big seminar with the BSNQ, then they said that there is no disadvantage in the Gold Coast. But think about it, that even from my case, that more than 90% of the 491 application is come from only Gold Coast.
Okay.
If you are a case officer, how you can only giving the invitation for the certain area? So I'm pretty sure, or I also have a unofficial information, but I believe based on all the information, I believe it's not disadvantage, but maybe Queensland also allocate their quota to the each area.
Okay. Of course.
So like in New South Wales, they allocate let's say, for example, 100 quota for the 491, they giving the 10 for Orana area, 10 for Northern Inland, 10 for Southern Inland, something like that. They allocate the area.
Okay.
But Queensland, officially, they didn't mention anything, but if I'm the officer, I may consider about it. So if you are not applying the 491 right now, then if you are talking about the future application, I highly recommend you to avoid the Gold Coast area. But again, this is only my opinion.
Your opinion, of course. Okay, what is the required time of working experience for accountant for regional visa?
Let's say the accountant, in Queensland, no options at the moment.
Okay.
But certain area like New South Wales, the 491, mostly the 491 requirement is 1 year.
Okay. 1 year for New South Wales, for example.
Yeah, but in New South Wales, again, they have each area has a different requirement. So you should.
So in this case, the student must to check in each state.
That's right.
How many points more can I get by studying in regional area?
5 points.
The 5 point that we already talked about if the state requirement requests to have 6 months full-time work experience plus 1 year contract, but I only got 4 months full-time when the state is open to load the EOI, plus 1 year contract from the company. In this case, will it be very risky to get a positive outcome?
Yeah, your application will be refused because you didn't meet the requirement.
Yeah, of course. And I guess
and then I highly recommend that anyway, BSNQ will open, close, open, close, open, close. So if you cannot meet all the requirement in this round, then better not to apply.
Of course.
It's killing the everyone's time seriously. And then even though you get invited and then your application will be refused. They will, the one of the document you have to provide when you get the invitation is that you have to provide a statement of service, which is state when you start, how you start, how you work, how many hours you work. That's a statement of service. So definitely they will find out that you have started only 4 months ago, then your application will be refused.
Okay, I guess this is the last question. It's a little bit different, maybe not related for 491, but it say, I have experience in hospitality, but never studied in hospitality course. It is possible to use the RPL certificate as qualification?
For the, my question is for the which visa purpose?
Could be, for example, for 491?
I don't think so. 491, the qualification is not important. How you meet the skill assessment is more, the
Okay.
requirement is more important. So for the skill assessment, if you want to pass, you must demonstrate you have a relevant qualification plus working experience. And then experience must be post qualification. So if you use your experience to get the hospitality qualification, you may don't have any post qualification experience. So maybe skill assessment gonna be very hard.
Yeah,
But for the
exactly.
TSS visa, then you have a significant experience before, then you can use that experience to meet the qualification and experience requirement at the same time for the TSS employer sponsor visa. But for the skilled visa, skill assessment is more important, and then with your arrangement, I don't think you can pass.
Yeah, of course, and the RPL is so different to the skill assessment. Okay, now I guess that is everything.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys, for be here with us. If you have any other question or if you want to know how many points you have at the moment, you can come with us. We are Soledo and we are here in Brisbane. You can come and have an appointment with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.